Hello, this is Pigsy doing another video. So I'll talk about a few things, I guess. I just want to try to make it interesting. I want to make it boring. So I was going to say about no contacts. I think once you get past the threshold, 6 months is probably the first bit where can be quite hard, because things can remind you of that person. And then maybe once you're past a year, then you're just kind of okay, because you start forgetting about them and what do they mean and all this sorts of stuff. And you found yourself, so it takes a little while to get yourself back on track. But it also depends what you put in place to recover and get yourself just feeling like yourself again. And then also, if it's hit you quite hard, it may be an opportunity to grow. So the way I see a person as we're quite similar to plants. So just because one of your branches has been cut off doesn't mean you can't grow another one. And that's pretty much how it works. Same with your heart. It feels like you've lost your heart for a bit. You may even lost empathy, and there's some other things you need to work on. Because the thing is, you don't want to punish other people just because you feel bad. You need to fix the core of that problem, and it takes a little while because it's something you've done to yourself, but you did it kind of I guess you did it willingly at some level, and then other parts of it, it happened, just like a cosmic union of something. I don't know. It's a bit more complicated. Your feelings will get thrown into a pot. Definitely, though, to look at is just sit down and assess your weaknesses and strengths, and how you want to redevelop yourself. So, I mean, for me, I've found fasting was a quick way to redevelop the body a bit. That's fine. And the other thing I've learned about fasting, it's not about weight loss necessarily, it's about the health of your skin, the health of your body, the health of your mind. Your weight will go up, your weight will go down, your weight will change. I mean, you look healthy, no one's going to come up and say, crikey, you've been fasting, blimey, you look unhealthy. They're gonna naturally say, well, you actually look bad. What have you been doing? You've been eating less. There's still cultural food confusions where you encounter people and then you say, well, I've just had one meal a day. Because they say, what are you going to have this tonight to eat? And I said, well, I'm not, because it's the evening now. I try to eat during the daylight. I don't want to be eating loads of things in the middle of the night. But some people do. Some people's habits are really radical, to be honest. They get home, they put a film on, and they're watching. That's fine. Fly down. Okay, I just figure out the route in my head. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these apps that people just like tune into and order themselves a pizza. I mean, if you're really hungry, yeah, I can understand that. But there's food and entertainment and pleasure. We get too mixed up a bit, and so we kind of indulge, and that's seen as sort of you've got to enjoy yourself. So you've got to eat a piece of pizza, or you've got to drink a beer, or you've got to do this. And then you think about it as an animal. You think, well, you don't really need it. And that's the thing. The humans are this god-like animal. So at one side we've got the capacity to integrate with nature, and the other side of it, we've got the ability to create our own world. Which is always going to have a funny relationship. You're not always going to get right, and there's going to be issues there. But that's part of it. Just finding out your nature again, your true nature. But you can do stuff. It's just that when you're more consciously aware of your calories, thank you for that. I wanted the car to drive out in front of me. When you're more conscious of what you're eating as well, then you start to think a bit more planning. I mean, you can go on a binge. You can enjoy yourself. You can celebrate. You can take a day off from whatever you're doing. But I think if it's a lifestyle, then you'd be looking to do it often, fasting. And depending on your body weight and composition and other things is how often you might want to do it, or how beneficial it is to you. Also, maybe how long you have gone down a path of an unhealthy lifestyle, you could pretty much turn it around in a year. You can get good results. But it's like if you went to the gym, it'd probably take about a year to get results in the gym as well. But the difference is you get this hemostasis where your body wants to stay at its natural form, and it has a natural preset mode. So it's like preset. So if you was ill, didn't eat for a while, whatever, you stopped exercising, it'll go back to this particular form. And some people have a disposition to be obese, and some people have a disposition to be underweight or have higher muscle mass, but they can tailor it to the best form of themselves by what they eat. So if they got a propensity to put on weight, then maybe they might want to increase their muscle mass and eat different types of food that it would start to even itself out. So the higher protein intake, it could be that maybe they want more fats than sugars. You know, they got some biological stuff. It's a bit like us playing around with the carnivore diet. And the issue with the carnivore diet was I started to put on weight, so whatever it was doing, it wasn't achieving what I was after. I mean, I think increasing density, the muscles. I think my knee was a lot better as well at one point, because I was eating things like fish when I had, if I went pescatarian or what are they called? Fisharian or something I heard a phrase, like seafood. Some people have seafood, some people have freshwater fish. You know, some people are having what you call sort of lower levels, like you might see in bottom feeders. They've got things like prawns and stuff. Okay, come over this side. You know, there's all sorts of things. So it's figuring out what works well with you, and foods that make you feel good, and foods that satiate yourself, so you feel full up and happy and comfortable. I found vinegar's brilliant. So they've got the like apple cider vinegar in it, etc. Or it might even be a dressing. So you can have a big salad, put a dressing on, maybe a few extra bits in there, and it probably shut it down. And I think it's to do with the foods that are very sharp in taste. Your body tends to pick up on that, and you know, like salt, you have a lot of salt, you probably stop eating. You probably, once you've eaten so much, your body says, well, we've got enough salt, we don't want you to eat any more salt, thanks. Or sugars. Sugar can have that impact. You can override it because you take an amount that's way above the body's expectation of what you'd intake food-wise, and the hormone comes in to deal with it's like the further down the process, the digestion part of it, the breaking down the sugar, the insulin, the spike goes so high that it stops this other hormone, or it overrides it, that will tell your body, hey, you've eaten enough. But what tends to be some initial, the stomach tends to kick in, you start to feel sick, you're like, oh, I wish I didn't eat that. That is what's going on there. Your body starts to break it down. It's like, we've got way too much of this. We've got to tell the brain that we've had enough. And it's not stopping you eating because you enjoy your food. You know, it might be strong in taste, it might stimulate your palate quite a bit. And so you just keep on eating, but then you hit this wall. I mean, the issue I've got is psychological conditioning. I've been told to eat everything on your plate. And so if I bought something, I don't necessarily want to waste it, so I'd be tempted to eat the whole lot of it. And so the best way I've approached this now is portionality, that's what I call that one. Basically the rule of halves. So if I went and bought a loaf of bread, I could eat half of it, the other half I save for tomorrow, for the next day. It might limit my food choices, but it will at least make sure that I don't overeat, or I just half like a big bag of crisps, or just do half of everything. And that, you know, half a bottle of Coke, because what might happen is you eat something, you really liked it, and then where we go? It's like a bloody jungle. It's going to fall, forgot to speed up. So yeah, it's kind of a restrictive rule. So it sounds silly, but you've got these different areas of your brain. So your mind is the collective consciousness of your body. Okay, guess physically, the higher consciousness, like the spiritual side of things. Well, it's not necessarily higher, because it also goes lower as well, like sensing energy and things and all sorts of stuff. So it does key into your sensory perception. But how it works is that you've got the instinct of the stomach, so I'm hungry, the heart says, oh, that tastes good, and that makes me feel better. So there's a heart association, and the mind says, well, it's good value for money, that looks like it could fill me up, that's what I'm looking for. So you've got these three things that are feeding into your collective consciousness of why you buy things, and then you reason them out. So the logic says this, the reason says that, and your instincts, well, I don't want to do that because I'm going to put on loads of weight, or you're going out later tonight, you're going to have a meal then. So, it's part of that logic, part of that instinct. The thing is, your instincts fire up your hormones. So, like, your sex drive attached must be connected to your stomach. Because your instincts will be to act and do things in a certain way. Or have to look at, so the key is what the organs provide in the collectiveness of your being. So, like if you're in a stressful situation, your heart rate increases because your heart's having an emotional response to what your mental process can't do. So the body says, well, I haven't got a logical answer to deal with this. And the heart says, well, this is going to cause us a concern, so we're going to increase your adrenaline, we're going to increase your blood pressure, and everything else increases from that side of things. You get it nowadays, people just walk out on the road and they act so like they're not there, like they're playing a computer game. If they get hit by a car, they're gone. That's it. I saw it yesterday, people just like, dun, dun, dun. There's a new growing trend, people just walk into speeding traffic because they see a gap, but it only works if the driver remains at the same speed or reduces their speed. Yeah. And that can also be an issue. Oh, got a bike right on my backside now. He's probably thinking these bloody drivers, they're either talking to the devices while they're driving. Is that a new trend? So yeah, there's lots of stuff to do that. So I found for myself that maybe getting more plant-based in there, maybe some calorie restrictions, because the OMAD worked because it was a stressor. Now my body's adapted. Yeah, it might cheat a little bit here and there. Like I was tempted, I thought, well, I'm feeling a bit tired this morning, should I nibble something before I go out? And I thought, it's tempting, but no, I'm not going to do that. And it wasn't because I needed it because I was hungry, it was because I was physically I'm feeling slightly tired, and I thought, well, that would raise my alertness. And so I said, well, no. But then again, I've gone out and I have had a cup of tea at clients, and I've had a couple of shortbread biscuits, and that's it. So I have sort of kick-started my metabolism, but I don't think I busted it through the roof like it's, I've had loads of sugar and stuff. However, I can't tell how much was in the shortbread, and it doesn't really worry me because from sort of 9 o'clock till, so we're hitting 12 now, nearer to 1, I'm going to probably have I'll have my meal anyway, and then there's nothing else, and that's when I do have all the calorie input then. Yeah, it's rolling well today, apart from when you hit red lights. So that's probably it. I don't really want to do any longer fast. I am looking to lose weight, ideally, but it doesn't matter too much because all my clove sizes are about the same, and I want to improve on it, but that's just, it's a calorie game. And nutrients, maybe I just increase in certain types of nutrients I'm taking in quantity. Because it seems strange you tell someone, well, you can put on weight doing an OMAD, or you tell someone, well, I've had about 6 eggs in my meal. They go, 6 eggs? They'll kill you. They have this sort of response. They have this triggered response to hearing such an amount of food. So, well, or 4 eggs. I said, I had a salad and I had 4 eggs. 4 eggs? I said, yeah, it's salad. That's what I ate in the day. It's like, yeah. If you was only eating a certain amount of food, wouldn't you bulk it up until you're full up? It's like, I don't know. But you don't have to go that far. As long as you eat enough and you feel okay, but as I mentioned before, some foods are going to be, don't know if I should overtake it, maybe. Oh, okay, here we go, blast it. This is a van, I don't think it'll get up to speed. Other things, maybe MGTOW stuff, I don't know. So I'll probably write a book about some other bits and bobs. If you create new topics of interest, and also if the human race is working towards more like a cyber sexuality or some neutral sexuality, they keep on saying gender neutrality and stuff. But we're moving towards like AI, integration of technology and sociology and other aspects, so cyber sociology and the other things that grow simply by creating new pathways and trying to integrate man and machine, or the society. And I think it's just setting it all up for it. It's like people having alterations done to their body. I mean, some of it's some of it's unnatural, some of it's unneeded. It's because they say, well, I've this and that, and I've got to have this done. Like I saw a chap and he had cat teeth implants into his thing. He developed cancer. I don't think he was necessarily genetically compatible with a cat, but he had some other issues that must have been in there. Must have been on some drugs or something that caused him some health problems. So look at that at some point. As for me, work on the image. Things like different colognes are quite nice if you smell good. So I'm changing the appearance. I've grown a bit of a beard. I've got a ponytail I'm sort of developing. I'm thinking, well, that might be an interesting look. And I think it'd be quite nice actually, a nice long ponytail. The other thing about if you kind of unify yourself with the feminine aspects of your character is that you probably incorporate that into your appearance. So you've got certain masculine things, like you dress with certain masculine clothes, but also you show feminine aspects, and that shows balance. When you have a partner, they tend to influence your appearance slightly. Like you smell good for them, you dress for them, in some ways. So that's changed. But yeah, definitely I'm going to increase some of the things. I like my I've got my knee up, my corduroy trousers. So there's some other ones. I'm going to get some different colours. I think having a mixture of different colours across the spectrum. So then I've got to figure out the outfits that go with that, which is also a feminine aspect. Before you wouldn't be care, you just wear jeans as a bloke, but you might want to show yourself as kind of an evolved version. So you're like male point 2. But then equally, like I mentioned with females, if they go their own way, they may incorporate things that they wouldn't normally do, like they might be doing more DIY and other things. But anyway, I'd probably write it into a book. People are like, wow, it kind of connected into the certain feminist movements throughout time as well, and how that's culturally massive changes, like makeup. When makeup come over from India or silks, different things, or maybe women that have been pioneers, like the tomboy as well. I mean, are a tomboy a type of MGTOW, or they just is help parent types and who they connect with. Do they have male aspects in their mind, their brain, or is it just a case of they're not into any particular stereotypes, so they form this thing, or that they are a representation of equality between men and women, but sometimes actually they don't like women, tomboy, they like hanging out with guys, because they've got the same interests, so it's a bit more complicated. Right, anyway, this is Pixie signing off on this video, and have a great day, and speak to you soon, bye!